Hey everybody, John Ponick with the Mojave Valley Daily News. This is the regular Wednesday afternoon Q&A session. Today my guest, bang, Dave Lipinski. How you doing, brother?
I'm good, thank you. How are you, John?
Good. Dave is a teacher over at Mojave High School. He's also the advisor for student council at Mojave High School. He's got a bunch of other things that he's involved in. And he is the, I said he's the advisor for student council. That is a group that's bringing the Wall That Heals here to town. I wanted to have somebody with Memorial Day coming up. I wanted to have somebody in here that can talk about some sort of veteran-related thing. Tomorrow on our Valley Voices, we have the people doing the Veterans in Motion, so tune in for that. But we got a few things to talk about, and I really want to dig into this Wall That Heals. I met Dave in the midst of the EPCOR thing. Both Dave and I fell on different sides of that, and I was every time that I talk with Dave, I learn a little bit more. So hopefully we will have some good stuff here.
Yes, sir.
If you have questions, go ahead and type them into the comment section there, and we will get to them. So I was really surprised to see that you have a bachelor's in political science, criminology, for a history teacher, a world history teacher. That's a little different.
Okay.
But I was really surprised to see that you have a master's degree in international security, foreign and democracy policy, energy security, terrorism, and armed conflicts.
Yes.
Are you like a CIA agent or something? What's
Undercover?
No, definitely not.
Yeah.
No, not undercover.
This isn't one of those
This would
things.
be a good place to hide a CIA agent. Is
Right?
right?
It's not one of those things where you could kill me with your finger or something.
No, I like you. You're
Okay,
a
good,
guy, so.
good. How did you end up in international security, foreign and democracy? I'm guessing there was something in there, international security.
Yeah.
Is
Yeah,
that what
was-
piqued your interest?
That was it was kind of the all-encompassing aspect. Right after I graduated from NAU in 2012, being that I went to school a little later in life, I knew I wanted to go get a master's degree. I didn't want to stop because that gap year could probably turn into a gap 10 years.
Yeah. I've done that.
So honestly, I just looked around and didn't find anything. And a friend of mine who now lives in Kingman, she found the program down at U of A, and that's where I just jumped in and found it and started in. It was once I read the program outline and what it was and what I'd be studying, it really intrigued me and what's going on in the world. And so I dove in, and it was really, really eye-opening.
When did you get your degree, your master's?
Master's finished it in 2015.
Did you ever? And you, in January of 2015, you were teaching already here, correct?
Yeah, that was I was subbing at that point, if I remember correctly. The COVID year sucked a lot of brain out of me. So,
All of us.
but yeah, it was. That's about the time that I finished. Is that 2015?
All right, before we get into the Wall That Heals,
Yep.
you brought up COVID. Can you just kind of give us an idea of what it was like? You're part of the Teachers Association. Can you just kind of give us an idea what the year was like for you guys? When we were doing interviews for the ACEs, we had a chance to talk to several of the teachers and find out some of the things that they went through. But give us your take on it. What?
Being a fairly new teacher, 5 years in, at least for me, it was extremely difficult to balance how we were going to teach some kids at home at the same time with the kids in class, and really give a fair, equitable amount of education and learning experience to both kids at the same time. That's what I found personally to be the most difficult right at the beginning of COVID, which was March. For people that don't know or realize, one spring break happened last year. We didn't see the kids.
Yeah, that was the end of it.
That was the end of school for
Don't
the rest
come
of the
back.
year,
Yeah.
and then it was all virtual. And so reinventing what we were doing in class for the virtual school was one thing, and then spending summer trying to figure out how we were going to do it in fall. I'm always and will always be a solid defender of my colleagues, and I can tell you that usually we get a summer break. Last year we didn't get a summer break. It was a lot of working to figure out how this was going to happen and really try to figure out what was going to happen, not necessarily the how, but were we going to come back? Were we going to be virtual? Both. I don't ever want to hear the word asynchronous ever again.
Yeah, right.
Nope. But then when we jumped in and did it, I got to give credit to our students that they kind of punched through it and just kind of went with it. There was a lot of, okay, this is the way it is. They had questions. They were honest with feedback right at the beginning, which is what I like. And a lot of teachers, went by that feedback and did the best we could. It was heartbreaking at times. It was exciting because you found ways to reach kids that maybe you wouldn't necessarily reach, because we have to remember there are some kids that actually liked being online more so than in the classroom, so it catered to them, which was kind of interesting.
Yeah.
But overall, it was rough. It was not easy, but it got easier because it became the norm. And several teachers that I work with really just tore the cover off of it and made it the best that it possibly could. And shout out to my E-Wing guys that teach history, that some of those guys just came up with the coolest stuff to actually get everybody engaged on the same level. So we kind of fed off each other, and same thing with the rest of the folks on campus.
Are you saying that over on the E-Wing you have your own history squad over there? Is that what you're
we have
trying
our
to say?
South Side. It's called
The Southsiders.
We have shirts, so it's official.
Your friend James Lands wants to know how you became such a stud.
Oh, James. Oh, James. It was probably mainly because of him and hanging out.
Yeah.
Not so much.
All right.
Yeah.
We don't.
Yeah.
I've met James, and I don't think we want to get any
Yeah.
deeper into
he's
that.
He's a good man. He's a good dude. But thanks, James. I appreciate that.
And then one more thing. Let's talk about student council before we
Sure.
dig into the nuts and bolts. Student council is actually the one that is leading the charge on bringing the wall that heals.
Yep.
So let's talk about I saw in your bio there that you've been the advisor since you got to Mojave.
Yeah, actually,
2015?
that 2015, halfway through the year, Steve Lawrence and James Armijo literally pulled me in the office and said, "So we got something for you." And I hadn't even been offered a contract yet. I was subbing full time.
Oh, wow.
Long term, but we knew the contract hopefully was coming. And originally I was going to teach English, and then it became history. And as soon as they said, "We want you to take over student council," I was like, Are you sure that's what you want to do? But I love doing it. I absolutely love seeing those kids grow and mature and just become better over the course of their years.
All right, so let me ask you this, and we know what student council does. They do a lot of things out in the community. They do a lot of things around the school. They're very good students and good people.
Yeah.
So, are they good people when they come into student council, and you just kind of guiding them, or are they good students that are curious about it and you help them to become that?
Both. In order to get
all right,
into
we're
student
done.
council-
Thank
Yep,
you
that was
very
it.
much for
I'm
joining
done.
us.
No, in order to get into student council, there is certain criteria, and we are looking for certain kids. We're looking for kids that want to go out and do more for their other peers, for the campuses, and for their community. So there's hopefully some already ingrained want to give back and to make things better on campus, to have spirit, to be good academically. You've got to have a 3.0 to even apply. You've got to be basically self-driven. Now, for some of the kids that get in as freshmen, we might polish that up over the course of the 4 years if they come back. So they're great kids, and they learn a lot because you see their growth. You see them either make small mistakes, and they learn on how to put together a car show, for that matter. I mean, the kids did amazing on that car show.
You gonna do that again?
I would love to do it again. So might not be this year. If we could, great, we'll do it again. But those are the kids that they want to do these events to better their community, better the school, and provide opportunities and fun, and doing the dances and doing the fun events for their dodgeballs and all those great things, and being in the cheer squad and the cheer section at the games. And so over the course of their high school career, I see them get better and more involved, and they become more selfless, and they want to do things more for their community. They come up with ideas about how to, and one spawns another idea, and then they feed off each other. So
Isn't that good to see?
is it good to see that?
Yeah.
Oh, it's hilarious
Yeah.
sometimes because I sit back and I watch and they have these conversations, and then it just becomes this other wild animal, and then I gotta go, wait, I don't know if we can do that. The hard part is asking permission for all the cool things that they want to do and figure out how we can, work it out. But
So did like Steve Lawrence start sweating every time that you walked into his office with a pad and said, "Here's what student council wants to do"? Did you
Yes.
start to
what I learned most of the time is actually it's really a good idea to send the kids into Steve, and I don't mean that jokingly.
Oh.
They should learn how to have these conversations
Make that
with admin
presentation, yeah.
and say, here's what you guys want to do. This isn't me that wants to do this.
Mm-hmm.
So they have to get everything planned out, all the ifs and whatever's may happen and contingencies, and go present it to admin.
That's awesome. All right, so the big one, the one that is just, I can't give you enough praise for being able to do this or for pulling this off. I also don't have on here the convention that's coming up.
Oh, yes,
But-
our student council convention. Yeah.
But we'll get to that in a minute.
Sure.
But the Wall That Heals. The Wall That Heals is a 375-foot-long replica of the Vietnam Veterans Memorial out in D.C.
Mm-hmm.
The Wall That Heals honors the nearly 8 million Americans who served in the U.S. Armed Forces during the Vietnam War. It bears the name of the more than 58,000 men and women who made the ultimate sacrifice in Vietnam. They are coming. It will actually be out on the field at Mojave High School from October 21st to the 24th.
Yes.
How did you pull this off?
Okay, long story short, we had a COVID year, and knowing that, it actually ties in with the convention. The original convention was going to be this coming January in 22. That got pushed back, so I wanted to find something for my seniors that year to do a large project or a large event, and car show. But for years, I'd really enjoyed actually going over across the river and seeing the wall that comes. So I honestly just started making phone calls to different organizations that do that. And being a history teacher, I teach U.S. history. I thought it'd be great to have one on the campus. And I made the phone call to multiple. They were either closed up, don't come this far west. And then I just happened to call Cynthia Long in D.C. and she said, here's the application process, good luck. So I told Steve I'm going to apply for it. And he said, okay.
Get out of
good
my
luck.
office?
Right.
Oh.
And so we applied, and then she called me and said, this may work out, but usually you don't get as an applicant, the first time you don't get it, and it's usually the second time. And it just so happens that we fit in between their previous visit over in Corona, and then Pine Top Lakeside is getting it after us. So we fit right in the middle of their circuit that they do. And she said, can you do it? I said, give me a minute. And I quite literally ran over to Steve's office and told him.
From the east side?
From the east side, south side.
South side.
And then said, hey, we're going to be able to pull this off. Are you good? And he looked at me and he goes, yeah, but are you good? It's $10,000. I said, I don't have a problem. Let's just give me the go word.
Right.
So I called her back and said, let's do it. And so at that point, it was full steam ahead.
That's awesome.
So
what was the next step? How did you, you had to go and get $10,000.
I had to explain to Steve that we had to come up with $10,000, and really the organization is very good at helping along how to and letting us operate within our own community, which I've been here since the mid-90s, so I know quite a bit of people that this would be beneficial for. So at that point, knowing the kids were busy, I just started hitting the streets and sending the kids out and really seeing what we can come up with and fundraising. And we found our sponsors, and actually, I don't know if I told you, it's not common knowledge, but it will be now. But as of about a month ago, we hit our $10,000 mark. It's the fee that it costs to bring the wall here, so we have raised that dollar amount
awesome.
100%. So.
And you and I had talked early in this, and I said, "You kidding? This community backs the veterans so much that 10,000 is not going to be an issue."
Right.
But you're not done. You still have some more money that needs to be raised.
Correct.
Right.
Right off the bat, it was the Shrine Club that took the lead sponsorship, and Mike Lewick and Terry, they called me up and we talked about it, And then after that, it was kind of like a windfall. It was one after another that said yes. And so, should I mention all the ones?
Absolutely.
I have to thank all these folks. We've got the Vietnam Veterans of Mojave County, COIT, VFW, both them and the auxiliary, Military Moms, Legacy Foundation, Swannies, Don Rice. We've got the 1st Marine Division, the American Legion, Culver's, MEC, and as of now, Morning Kiwanis. And there's others that are, I know they're going to jump on board here. So it's these folks here and the community members have made this happen. It's not just me and the kids. If it wasn't for these community organizations and the veterans groups, we wouldn't be able to pull this off.
Stepping up and helping.
Yeah, absolutely.
So what other costs do you still have? I mean, what you've got?
We are responsible not just for the fee, but we're also responsible for feeding the volunteers and providing the security and the volunteer. So the volunteers that we're feeding, we actually have to come up with the volunteers because it's going to be open for 24 hours a day for those 3 days.
Mm-hmm.
So from the group of sponsors, I'm sure, and I know for a fact, the Vietnam veterans and the 1st Marine Division and several groups are going to step up and do
postcards. Postcards out there.
Yep, they're going to have folks out there 24 hours a day. It'll be lit at night, and so from that, it's decorations and some of the niceties that we want to be able to give out to our sponsors and the guests that come through.
Mm-hmm.
So we're still looking for a little bit of sponsorship and dollars to help pay for the food and the other things. So not a ton too much.
So if we have people out there looking to donate, how do they just?
You can email me at dlipinski@crsk12.org.
I'll give you the thing to put in the comments, the email address.
And I get my emails through Summer, and I'll be able to answer any of the questions. One of the things that I wanted to reach out on or speak on is that when this shows up on the 21st, or on the 19th, I'm sorry, it actually will show up into town on the 19th, and we're going to be doing an escort from Needles up the highway with an escorted guard. So the local motorcycle groups,
the Patriot Riders,
we might get some Patriot Riders in, law enforcement, fire, and then it'll pull into the school. And being that this will be a school day, the idea is to have the kids out welcoming it, American flags, and basically pulling out all the stops. So that'll be on the 19th. It'll take 2 days to set up and then open to the public on the 21st.
Excellent. Well, we'll make sure that we get that stream, Jeff.
Yes, we will.
Bring that up.
Yep.
And then, congratulations on that. That's amazing. And you and I have talked about that. That's my father was a Vietnam veteran, and we talk quite a bit about our heroes and what they've done and the way they've been treated, coming from different things, and the way that the Vietnam veterans were treated is horrendous. So this is an awesome thing to see.
And it's actually, there's a second part of it. There's a mobile education unit because that is the main aspect, and this was the main reason why I wanted to bring it. At the event will be the semi that they have turns into an education unit for students and the public. So we'll get the students at Mojave and River Valley and the local schools and Malk and the elementaries to come by, and then they get a 30-minute tour around that. They get to do a Q&A, and then they get to go by the wall. And it's really to educate people on what Vietnam was, and so that we don't forget what actually happened, especially when they came home. The remembrance. We're actually working on a flyover from Nellis. So if I can get a flyover and a missing man, then we're actually working on it. So.
You brought the wall that heals. You do the missing man flyover. You got to just drop the mic and leave the community after that, right?
We still need to do the convention from Student Council, which is in 23. So.
All right, so tell us about that, the Student Council convention. This is something that you worked hard. You got last year, and then they canceled it because of COVID.
Yeah, this is something we've been working on as a council for many years. We actually we go to state convention every year in January, at the end of January. And it's always in the valley. It's Lake Havasu had it. It's always somewhere else. And the first time I looked around at my kids and said, well, we could do this. And they kind of thought it was crazy, which that's not too far off.
It seems like this is kind of a common theme.
Right. Like some of these bigger events I enjoy doing. And so I find out, what's it going to take? And really, it's that dedication of my kids. It's really not a lot to do with me. It's them going to events and showing out what Mojave is all about, or what Bullhead City is all about. And they put a bid video together, and then a year and a half ago, they put it out there to the convention we were at down in Buena, and we won. Pretty cool. Pretty cool. So it was supposed to happen in 22. We got pushed back, so we're having ours in 23. It'll be at Mojave the end of January, and we'll also be utilizing the field house because that was the big seller. Being able to utilize that field house for 3,000 students that are going to show up from all around the state from 150 different high schools. So we get to show off our school and our community. So that's what the bid video was really about, all of it. Now we're just sitting and waiting. Now we're just,
tick.
you're right.
Tick,
It's this year and a half is going to go by very quickly. So.
Well, I think I wanted to ask you about the new superintendent thing, but we're going to the association hasn't put together a whole thing on that, and we're going to find out who that is tonight anyway.
I would just suggest that if anybody in this community is interested, go down there tonight at I believe it's 5 o'clock.
I think it's 5:30.
5:30, and take part in take part in that that forum so that everybody has a say in it. You can write down questions and then bring it to the board, and then
It's at 6.
it's at 6. All right, so from 6 to 7. So that's really all I can say is get down there and take part in that so that their voices are heard as well.
Absolutely, 6 o'clock at the field house. We're expecting that after the question and answer part, they're going to go into executive session, come out, and let us know who your new boss is going to be.
Yep, they should, and if not, that's okay too. If they want to sit on it.
Don't hurry. You don't have to hurry. We got time on
It's
this.
okay. But yeah, we might know who the new superintendent is today.
Good. Anything else? Anything we didn't cover?
No, summer break, and I'll throw a shout out to all my teachers in the area. Enjoy your break. Don't answer emails, and take that well-earned break.
Look,
And
you said don't answer emails. This is the same guy that said, here's my email address. I check it all the time.
I do check it. I don't mean to answer it. Too
Oh, okay.
much.
Yeah, you know what? Good
Not
point.
when he's on vacation, though.
Yeah,
Right.
good point.
So, yeah.
Yeah, I don't know how every teacher doesn't just shut off, throw their cell phone into the river and shut off their computers and just decompress for a couple of months.
This is a well-earned break, and I know some people have already left town. Like I know they've definitely pieced out already. But shout out to all my teacher friends out there. They really showed everybody what it's all about. And a lot of the collaboration between everybody how to figure it out was really cool to see.
Yeah, that's awesome, and thank God for you guys being able to over your spring break come up with an entirely new way of teaching our kids. So
It was not perfect, but man, it was like, well, this is the way it's going to work. So
it is what it is.
Yeah.
So, Jeff, did you get any questions on YouTube?
Just a few shout outs to Dave. You had Tiana says hi, Dave. That's Tiana Glendale. You have Jen Hortola says hi,
Jen.
Dave.
Yeah.
And then on YouTube, we have a shout out from Cindy Frizzell.
Ah,
saying you're
She's
amazing.
awesome. Yep.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Cindy is the best.
Jen Hortola, I worked with her a long time ago, and she just relocated to Montana. They moved to Montana. They were like, up you go. So, yeah, it was.
right.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
No, thank you. I appreciate you coming in, and of course, all these things are great. I'm going to see if my father. I'm going to see if he's out. They're out in Arkansas.
Where they at now?
I know where my parents are. They're in Arkansas. I'm going to see about getting him out here for this. That should be cool. All right. Tomorrow morning, 7:30, we have our daily dose, and tomorrow night at 4 o'clock, we'll have Valley Voices with the Horns. They are the people doing the Veterans in Motion this weekend. There's a fundraiser for it. So if you don't know about it, check it out or tune in tomorrow, and we will meet with them. And don't forget, Monday is Memorial Day. There's a couple of events going on. To me, the biggest and best one is the one down at Desert Lawn. Have you seen his
Once.
going up there with the flags and all that? So
It's been a while, so
Yeah.
I might run down there. Yep.
yeah, so we'll check that out.
We're also not going to be live for the Daily Dose on
We
Monday.
will not have a daily dose on Monday.
So those of you who are expecting us to be live on Monday, we will not have our Daily Dose Monday.
Nope. So watch
Tuesday.
tomorrow. Watch tomorrow's twice. That should take
Oh,
care
okay.
of it.
I
Right?
see what you're saying.
All right, everyone. Thank you for tuning in, and we will see you tomorrow.
All right. Bye.